Hello everyone, welcome to another video, and let's talk about my newest, most favorite topic that I talk the most about on the internet and on my Discord server, and that is Warhammer the Old World. So as you can see, when I started with Warhammer around 18 years ago, I think it's 18 years now, maybe 17, a long time ago. The most prominent game of Warhammer, I think, was actually Warhammer Fantasy Battles. Um, and I started the game. Obviously, my first. So we started Warhammer 40k because the small little gaming store we had like only the paint marines, like the box set with 5 paints and 3 space marines, I believe, or 5, could be 5. And but the first actual book for Warhammer 40k that I have, or for Warhammer in general, was the 4th edition Warriors of Chaos one. So my first ever book for Warhammer was a Warhammer Fantasy Battles book. Obviously, back in the day, we didn't have a lot of money, so the amount of models we could get was very sparse. But I remember having like one regiment of Chaos Warriors and one regiment of Chaos Marauders, and I think the champion I got was Crom, and then I got a Corn Lord and some other stuff. So I had a very basic Warriors of Chaos army. That would be it. I would play Warhammer Fantasy a lot, Warhammer Fantasy Battles a lot with it, with my older brother, and then we had some other people who had like high elves, dark elves, orcs, and whatever. So I played Warhammer Fantasy Battles. Then I think 5th edition Warhammer 40k dropped, and we dropped Warhammer Fantasy completely in the favor of Warhammer 40k, and we just played Warhammer 40k until 6th edition when we all took a break. And then we came but it was, I think, right before the end times when I had a Seraphon army, not Seraphon Lizardmen. Seraphon is what they are called in Age of Sigmar. Please don't get angry, people. And I started to play the game again. And I felt like, well, this game is actually kind of fun. So you have to remember, this is 8th edition Warhammer Fantasy, so it was about to be axed. I was like, well, so we had this awesome person in the gaming store who came every Wednesday night. So we would play Wednesday nights at this particular store, and he would teach us Warhammer Fantasy. And I think my brother had Empire back then, and I had my Lizardman, and he would physically come to the store every Wednesday night and teach us the game. So I think the game was very complex. It was very hard. It was very hard to learn, but I think it was a good game. But at that point, there was like 2 people left in the store playing Warhammer Fantasy Battles. That was me and my older brother, and he was just there, maybe having a game. If he didn't have games, he just tried to teach us how to play and what models to get and what regiments to get and whatever. And I think because of the complexity and how very OP some factions were and how very weak some other factions were, the game sadly was replaced by Age of Sigmar. And I think this is where the old world will pick up. We know that the old world is before the times of Warhammer Fantasy, so it's like 300 years, or it starts out off 300 years before Warhammer Fantasy. So you have like Magnus the Pious and some other dudes. I don't really know the lore that good of that time frame, so please don't be angry. And I think that's the thing that Warhammer the Old World wants to fix. We know that Warhammer the Old World will be a mix of the eighth of the, I think, third to eighth rule sets. So the best things out of 5 editions and some new stuff. And I also think that they want to give factions that maybe were a little underwhelming, like my favorite faction that I never got to play. My older brother actually forbid me to play Tomb Kings because they were so weak that you couldn't even have fun games with them. That like the Tomb Kings and the Bretonians, who were very weak, that they maybe get rebalanced a little bit, and the factions like the Vampire Counts and the Dark Elves, that they get balanced a little more. And I don't even know if the Dark Elves are even announced in the old world, but I think they will start off there, balance the factions a little more, and whatever. Balance the factions, embrace new setting, maybe have more Empire bowmen, crossbowmen. I don't know if they had steam tanks. So this gives the Warhammer the Old World loads of opportunity. So when they start the game, I think it would be cool if they would do it with orcs and the Empire, because I think those are two iconic factions in Warhammer Fantasy. Because the orcs are like everywhere, you could have orcs on every continent in the old world. And the Empire is obviously the most widespread human faction. Although I would like to see maybe Araby or Cathay. I think Cathay will be a thing because they are in Total War Warhammer 3, but that's a different thing now. Yet, like other human factions like Cathay, Kislev will definitely be in the game. We know that. Kant, I think no Kant is Lord of the Rings. I mean, obviously, I mean Nippon and Hind and whatever. That could be cool. So that's that. You have a very cool opportunity for armies there, but you also have cool opportunities to do some stuff that was like in the old law, like Chaos Dwarfs. Just give the Chaos Dwarfs an army list. People wanted to play them forever. They were a Forge World army. I don't think Forge World will do armies on their own anymore. We see that with the Horus Heresy. So I think GW has an opportunity here to make a good game, and I think they have the right people on it. Mark Bedford and Andy Hoare in particular, revived Necromunda. He took some elements from the old games. He took some, and excuse me, and he made some new stuff. And overall, if you haven't played it, try Necromunda, the new Necromunda. I mean, if you want to try the old one, you can do that as well. But just try Necromunda. It's an awesome game. It's an awesome and faithful reimagining of the game, but it's new. It's a new game that's fun nowadays for people that play nowadays. And I think that they can nail it with Warhammer the Old World as well. I think they will do the same as the Heresy in 40k, so that the historical in historical in Warhammer context, that the historical game for Warhammer Age of Sigmar, which will be the old world, will be the more complex one, and the Age of Sigmar will be the easy one, the streamlined game of medieval combat or fantasy combat. So I think my hopes for the old world are pretty high. I'm extremely hyped, I have to say. Like thinking about the old world all the time. It's like when the heresy was announced back in the day, like some 10 years ago, I think. I thought about the heresy all the time, and now I'm thinking about the old world. Very excited, and I hope they bring back Tomb Kings. I hope they make up reasons why the Lizard Men fight again, why the Lizard Men are involved in the game, and I think they will do that because they don't say you can use your old armies, and they're not going to provide rules or update them at some point. So I think they have some great opportunities here to fix the game, make the game more enjoyable, fix the old factions that were pretty weak, like the Tomb Kings and the Bretonians, and also fix the factions that were overly strong, like the Dark Elves and the High Elves, I believe, and the excuse me, and the what did I say again? Vampire counts. Sorry, I'm sorry. And the vampire counts. So I hope I hope it releases soon, and we get to see like a starter kit, for example, like Orcs against Empire or whatever against whatever, and that we get a little rules preview. So that is my video basically for today. Um, it's a hype video for the old world announcing that hey, Dantiok will do old world content now. I think I said that before, but yeah, whatever. Anyway, thank you all for listening. Have a good day. Stay healthy. Keep the old world and the heresy train going. And bye bye.